closer, but not good enough yet.
What's your expectations of Corey Potter, Dallas?
Well, we just want him to come in and defend, get comfortable in his game. He's the one guy that comes to mind quickly that he hasn't had a chance this year at all. He got hurt before training camp even begun, and then he went down, played a couple of games, but still wasn't quite ready to get in the lineup. So he's got some games under his belt. I had a little chat with him. He's comfortable, no issues with his previous injury, and we just our whole group back there. It's the same message. Just defend. The offense, all that other stuff will look after itself. But I'm excited for him. It's a really tough way to start a season when you get hurt right before training camp and you got to battle through it. And now you're in season. It's a tough way to come in, but that's the only way right now for him.
You're going to get a chance now with a stretch of home games. Do you look to be more the line matcher where you have the last change? Will you look for certain matchups more often?
Yeah, like you always, it's like for me, and there's other coaches that are different this way. But for me, you have a plan going into the game, and sometimes the plan is, hey, you know what? We're kind of evenly matched across the board. Maybe we can roll them tonight, get everybody involved. There's other nights where it's, hey, we've got to make sure we've got get this D pair or this line out against the other group. But what always dictates the matchups is how your guys are playing. If you've got one matchup in mind and the other team's playing very well, or your guys aren't playing very well, it's the matchup changes. So I'll just deal with it as I normally do. I like having last change for a number of reasons, but that's something we will be looking at as we always do.
Dallas, have you thought? I mean, I'm sure you have about putting Paul, Everly, and Nugent Hopkins back together, or do you just want to spread out?
Yeah, well, listen, there's been more line combinations in there on my desk than I care to mention, but I have thought it. But you need to spread it out a little bit too, and I think Hall is, helping Gagne along the way right now, which is important for us, and the other line's been fine.
Dallas, does there come a point where you just forget about the past? You learn from the lessons of the past 19 games, but you've got 5 of the next 6 at home. Let's just start with a fresh slate here. Try to get the group so that they're not sitting there going, Christ, here we go again, if there's any sort of struggles, and create a more positive environment for the group moving forward.
Well, it's important that we that's the one thing that we're trying to get our group to understand is that even if you had won 10 in a row, it doesn't matter. What matters is tonight. And with our record the way it is, that doesn't matter when it comes to tonight's game. It doesn't. If you're carrying that load into the game of woe is us and oh no, here we go again, we have to play a hockey game tonight and our record's bad, well, you're in the hole right away. And it's up to us to get into this building tonight and to get our fans on our side. Like, boy, that first goal tonight's going to be important. And I know there is it's in all of us. You come into your own building and God forbid the other team score the first goal, because now it's going to change. The building's going to change, and it's not going to be in your favor anymore. So it's important that we come out, show effort immediately, show some passion, find a way to get that first goal and get our building to be a home building. Because it hasn't been that way, and it's not their fault. It's not the fans' fault. It's our fault. That's our doing that they've been somewhat against us and vocal in our own ranks. So that's our challenge as a group, but it's an important challenge. And you're right. This is a fresh start. Every night's a fresh start, and we've got to take advantage of that fresh start right away.
Andrew Ferris said that he took a little bit of time and chatted with Mail yesterday. Let him know that he's supported in some way. What's your expectation of Mail today, given the events of yesterday, and if, with some time to reflect on it, how do you feel about what happened yesterday? Any different?
I don't feel any differently about now. It's boy, that's climbing a mountain. He obviously hit a valley yesterday, having to go out and answer all these questions and make statements. I think it's purely frustration of a player, and something that he'll learn, take positives and negatives, whatever he's going to take from it. We'll see how Nail's going. That's how it goes with our team. It's every guy is earn your ice time, and my expectations for him are that between his agent's comments and his comments yesterday, my concern for him is all eyes are on him now, and that can be a burden sometimes. So I think he's up to the challenge of the eyes being on him, and we'll monitor how he's going, how we do every night. So I expect him to come out, play hard. I expect him to play. He always has passion in his game. He does. He's just still learning the game, and yeah, it'll depend on the score of the game. It'll depend on so many different things on how much ice time he gets. But I expect him to come out flying.
You spent a lot of time with video with him, or was this showing defensively? Okay, I know you're good offensively, you want to score a goal, but here's what you got to do when you don't have the puck. You spending acres of time with him showing him film. His agent, Larry Onoff, was a very good defensive player too. I'm kind of surprised that he hasn't told him, look, you got to play defense.
Is there such thing as acres of time? Oh. Well, yeah, hey, listen, it's the same right across the board. We use everything we can. You can draw it on the board, you can show video. I like sometimes sitting with the guy and talking about it so they see it in their heads. You leave no stone unturned. But when it comes to time with players, so if you want, you can rank our players by points. You can rank them by ice time. You can rank them by size. If you want to rank them with time with coaches, Nail's right up at the top. He's a young player that we're trying to teach how to play the game. So listen, this guy's had the great gift of sitting with Keith Acton and going through his shifts. Like, that's not a burden, that's a gift. When a guy like Keith Acton with his knowledge can sit with you and take you through your shifts on a consistent basis, that's a great gift. And we are seeing the change in his game, in spurts though. So, and it's right across the board. It's no different than our other players. If we see corrections, and more importantly, when we see progress, when you see that they've done something well, you've got to acknowledge that. That's always more important than showing them the negative.
Mark Arcabello says that he still does not feel comfortable. In other words, he knows he has to play and perform every day and every shift. Is there a strategy to having a guy like Arcabello who shares the puck playing with Nail and working with Nail, a guy that's made the most of his opportunity and probably exceeded pretty much everybody's expectations for him?
Yeah, and it's great to have. I love that Arco says that, because everybody should feel a little uncomfortable. Geez, am I going to lose my ice time? Am I going to be here? What's going to happen? And I'm not sure that's why Arco has played so well. I think a big part of it is that he's a smart kid and he understands how he needs to play to survive here. But the one reason that we have Yak where he is right now is that Arco's made other players better. For a long time, it was Arco and Ebbs. It was consistent. Whoever we put those guys with, they played better. And so with Arco, he seems to rub off on people. And so Arco's in our eyes, is a perfect centerman for him right now. And then the other guy that has been so great with him is Ryan Smith. I mean, Ryan's been almost like a secondary coach, spending time with him, making sure he's all right, talking to him on the bench. Like, those things are so important. And listen, coaches can talk to you and hug you and kick you, but when it's coming from your peers, it's bigger. And so I think he's with good line mates right now. It's not to say, hey, he can move up, he can move down too. So but Arco's done just a hell of a job, and we continue to look for his progress. Like, it's amazing how we spend so much time talking about certain players when guys like Arcabello have. I'd love to give them more of my time, but we're dealing with other people on a consistent basis.
Dallas, what about Sam Gagne? When you're out a month, it takes a while to get back into it. Have you seen his game slowly coming around? How patient do you have to be, and when do you look and say, hey, I need to start seeing some production?
Well, I think you have to be very patient, especially with, I look at Sam as a real veteran guy. He's played a lot of games in the late league, and I think as much as you can be patient, you slowly get to the end of the plank, and you've got to see something. The great thing about Sam is that he fully understands where he was at. He came knocking on my door yesterday morning, wanted to talk, which was encouraging, and we had been talking all along, but he understands that he can give more. He understands where his mistakes have been. He had some ideas on how he could be better. And so you have to have a patience with all players, but especially with a guy that, what happened to Sam here is that our team was struggling, and Sam for sure was sitting there, geez, this team needs me. It needs me. And he probably came back way earlier than he was comfortable with. The doctors had cleared him, but there's a comfort level in a player's head on, hey, when I am healed. And that's a question you'd have to ask him. But I get the feeling that he probably came back a little early, in his own comfort zone, just out of being a good character team guy. And that's probably led to some of his struggles early. But my encouraging things with him is I see him moving his feet now. He was dead in the tracks. He was riding a train, basically, not moving his feet. He's getting over supporting the puck. He's been on top of the puck more. So the fundamentals of the game are always the first encouraging signs.
Thank you.
All right.